Okay, what's up, beautiful people and ugly people? I respect the ugly too. So I got a review today. Kind of. It's not a video game. I'm gonna be doing a movie because I really have no idea what content to make anymore. I dish out video game let's plays, and some people watch them. I don't get feedback, so I'm just kind of throwing everything out and see what sticks. So here's a review for My Bad. Suicide Squad. It says 3D on it. I didn't watch 3D because I don't have 3D TV. And nor do I want to buy one. Anywho, it's got a little socket on the outside. That's a weird... Why? That's a weird... Okay. Already, packaging, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. So we're going to talk about Suicide Squad. I actually don't even have my notes pulled up. I like to have pretty much an idea of what to talk about, and making sure I don't skip anything and don't jump over anything. So yeah, I'm a loser. I keep notes. Or I'm a professional critic that takes notes. Anywho, a lot of people did not like this movie. I really don't know why. I don't. The movie wasn't awful. It wasn't terrible. I really don't know what people's beef is with it. It might be the Joker, because, you know, Leto is playing the Joker and people don't seem to care or really want to admire what he's doing with it. And I'll talk about that later in the review. Disclaimer, there might be spoilers here and there. Maybe. I'm pretty sure there are, so I'm just going to tell you right off the bat there's going to be spoilers in here. But a lot of people don't care for the movie anyway, so it doesn't matter, I think. So many things about this movie. I did look at some of the bonus features on the Blu-ray, as far as like behind the scenes, what the director's thinking, and all that good jazz. And a lot of work was put into this. A lot of unnecessary work was put into this as well. But you got to give credit where credit's due. You can't just say, that movie's shit. You can, but there's actual details put in here that people can't really ignore unless you're just not very nice. But we can go ahead and start with the thing that hits you right at the beginning. Is just the soundtrack. It's all over the place. One scene it'll be one song, the next it'll be a different song, and it'll be a different genre. I felt kind of busy. Sorry, burped a little bit. This video is not sponsored by A&W, but I love A&W. It's better than Mug and Barks. Anyways, enough about root beer. It jumps you right in there. As soon as the movie starts, it throws you at the prison where Task Force X is being held up, and it's nice and all. It doesn't waste any time. I like that in some cases, but to do something that fast, the director has the most faith that the people watching this know about these villains or Task Force X in general. So it may have been too fast. And they do have this little character bio in the beginning, so that kind of helps. But people are just like, who the hell is that? Who the hell is this? What did they do? How did they get here? So you gotta take it with a grain of salt. You don't know if you like it or don't. Matter of fact, everybody's just not gonna like this movie. I did. I'll just go ahead and tell you that right now. You can go ahead and exit out of the video. Yeah, you got my opinion. But like I said, the character bios were nice. I wish they spent more time on each individual character equally. It seems like Deadshot and Harley Quinn are obviously the stars of the film. But like Killer Croc, I wanted to know more. Captain Boomerang was part of the Suicide Squad before Deadshot was even part of the Suicide Squad, back in the mid 80s in the comics, I believe. I know Rick Flag was a part of it, so that's kind of fun facts to know. Fun facts. They open up with Deadshot, who is being played by Will Smith. I like this character. I do. I liked him in the comics. I have 3 of his solo comics. I have 2 of the Suicide Squad comics of the more modern age. And I like Deadshot. He's pretty cool. He's got the, I don't kill women or children rule, modified Batman rule. And he's pretty much like an anti-hero. Think of the Punisher, except he gets paid and Punisher lives in the sewers. Probably sees Killer Croc down there if they were to have a Marvel DC crossover. But still, the problem I had with Deadshot was Will Smith. I like Will Smith as an actor. I like a bunch of his movies. I liked iRobot when nobody did. I don't know why people don't like that one either. I just like bad movies, honestly. Like, I like the Ben Affleck Daredevil and people hate it. They said it ruined his career, like Ryan Reynolds got screwed by Green Lantern, which I like that one too. You know what? This video is full of shit. If you want to keep watching to find out my opinions on these things, I like to look at it from a broader perspective. But I like bad movies, so you can just dislike the video and leave. There's a lot of Deadshot in here, and I understand that, but we're gonna go back to the problem I had with Will Smith. He's Will Smith. Will Smith. He's pretty much just Will Smith, and that kind of bothers me a bit. I mean, I know Will put in a lot of effort to become Deadshot, to immerse. Every video, I have a tongue twister somewhere in there. He wants to immerse himself into being Deadshot, to be the killer, because that's out of Will's forte. He's always a hero, he's always this, he's always that. That's how he gets those leading roles, being that hero person. And now he's being told he has to be a bad guy, where he has to kill for money, and so on and so forth. But it feels like Will Smith. All of his characters feel like Will Smith. I feel like they are just Will Smith, and they're not really the characters. This movie made me notice that, because I know who Deadshot is, I know how Deadshot is, and I know how he acts, what he does, what he says. This is just Will Smith in a Deadshot outfit, which is probably why people didn't like that part. But he's still probably my favorite of the squad, besides Captain Boomerang. But enough of Will Smith. We can go on to Harley Quinn. I like Harley Quinn in this movie. I do not like Margot Robbie. Whatever interview she's had in the past, I'm knocking shit over. I have a very small work area, but I'm doing my best. She's had interviews where she doesn't like how very love-hate the Joker is with Harley, and the abusiveness, and it's just like, lady, the comics have been there. The animated series has been there. This has always been that thing. It's always been the same. Eventually Harley gets enough of it, blah, blah, blah. You don't read comics. What is your deal? This was already set in stone. You can't just tell me, hey, that's not right. You should have said it wasn't right back then, and maybe it would make an impact and had a difference. But right now, it's like you're saying, I don't like the way this actor is, or I don't like the way this character is made. And it's like, you're not right for the part. Bye. Go away. Go on, shoot. You're fucking with the script? No? Go away. Bye-bye. And that's just it. If you don't like your character, don't be casted as a character. Plain and simple. It's frustrating. And she's like that throughout the whole movie. She's frustrating. But I do like the character that she's doing. She eventually just tucked all her emotions and ideals and threw them out the window, and she got better. As long as she's got the makeup on with the baseball bat and everything, she's perfectly fine. In other movies, I could care less. I'd rather just avoid watching her movies if I could, and I probably will. Depends on what's coming out. Rumors of another Suicide Squad and all of that. What do we got here? The Joker is not as bad. See, we're going to talk about Leto now. He's not that bad. He's a modern day Joker. There are some lines where I'm just like, bro, shut up, don't say anything. I can see why a lot of your scenes were cut out. You're weird. I'm not digging it. But he's not that bad. He definitely doesn't live up to like Nicholson or Heath Ledger, but it's a modern day Joker, just like everything else. It's all modern, which is what the director was going for. A very modern Suicide Squad. Because if you look in the comics, they were using like a whole different set of gadgets, outfits, costumes. If you look at them now, they're pretty modernized. Modern day villains in a modern day society. And people just gotta roll with it. Because even in Injustice 2, if anybody plays that game, they kind of took Leto's Joker and put him over to the next one. And obviously it had some sort of influence. He can't be that bad if they went ahead and put that same idea, modified it a bit, and threw it into a game. You know what I mean? So there's some good and some bad. And it's, as I said, this movie's not perfect, but there's a lot of good in there. There can be a really good movie with a lot of shitty things that could overturn it into being a bad movie. And then, like, there's a lot of good things in here, but the whole concept of what they're doing is just bad. It's very bad. Like, Enchantress, big machine, they worship machines now. So we shall worship machines. And it's just like, okay, you're pretty much Amanda Waller on fighting fire with fire. Whose side are you on? Do you want machines? I thought magic was better than machines. I'm gonna use magic for machines. I don't know. I don't get it. We'll talk about Enchantress in a bit. Mainly June Moon, not really her other half, but June Moon, just because that. I don't know about that one. There probably should have been more Joker, maybe, like as far as, because everybody got a bio. Amanda Waller should have got a bio. People don't know who Amanda Waller is at times, so it's just like everybody got a bio except for the people that we should know about. If you don't know who the Joker is, you're living under a rock, but still a bio would have been nice. Maybe a minor bio, which they kind of sort of half did a little bit, but that doesn't count. It was tied into Harley Quinn's bio, which kind of sucked. A lot of things were put into this movie as far as the actors putting themselves. They did, a few of them had stunt doubles, but none of them, about 80 to 85%, they did most of their stunts, which was really nice to hear, because that doesn't happen too often as it used to, because stunt doubles need a job. But like, you know, having Harley being underwater for that scene, you know, Robbie had to learn how to hold her breath underwater for 5 minutes. That's kind of cool, which goes back to what I said, you give credit where credit's due. And she learned how to hold her breath underwater for 5 minutes, and then people turn around and say, this is complete shit. This shit, movie's shit. And it's like, well, at least I got a new talent, and nobody enjoyed it, but it's cool. That's not a bad thing. And the same with like the wrist gauntlets for Deadshot. They actually fired blanks. They're pretty much Glocks, probably a compact Glock, that were put into a kind of a wrist socket, and then it kind of velcros onto the arm. And it's nice. It has a little trigger in the palm where it actually fires blanks, and that's nice because the rest of his guns I don't think fire anything. You have the effects team do that stuff, but firing blanks on the wrist gauntlet was really, really cool because it is operational. I don't think it fires real rounds, but I'm pretty sure you could make it that way. The idea is cool. That's all that matters. I don't want to talk about Batman. I have written down here some notes about Affleck, but I don't want to talk about Batman Suicide Squad. I'll do it later if anybody wanted to wanted me to make a Batman vs Superman, Justice League, whatever. There are worse movies than this. I'll save that for the end, but there are worse movies than this. Captain Boomerang is probably only my favorite because he's the very comedic part of this film. Everybody tries to be funny, but none of them are as funny as he is. And as far as it's very loose. Like he can just rip a joke and it'll be funny because that's his character. Everybody else that tries to be funny, I think, are just trying to catch up points with him. So for that, and then his design is also very nice too. I wish I could afford the statues that were released. They did have one sculpted for Boomerang, and it's really nice, really awesome. KC, quote unquote, Killer Croc. I would probably get his just to complete the set, but it wouldn't be one of my favorites. On Captain Boomerang, I didn't know, which kind of sucks. I hate when they do like these small details and I don't notice them because I have to go watch a, commentary or something where they're like, oh yeah, Captain Boomerang has like 9 different boomerangs. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that? He's throwing these bad boys everywhere and using them so quickly. The only time I noticed he had a different boomerang was when he used the little drone. And that makes me wonder where he got the little fucking phone to be able to watch that, whatever. He had a phone. But still, that would have been nice. And there are details like that are really cool. The gauntlets and even Harley Quinn's baseball bat, the design. I saw them actually designing it and different prototypes and whatnot. And that's pretty cool too, because it's like, oh, we can't do that. Oh, we should do this. That's a good idea. What do we write on it? That's cool. That's really nice. And it's those details that I'm interested in. Everybody else isn't. They just want to watch a movie, and that's cool. I talk about the details to see if anybody else notices them, because if they don't notice them, it's not important and you wasted your time. That's how I think of it. Diablo is another character. I'm actually going down the character list. I probably should have told you that, but my bad. Anyways, Diablo is one of many Diablos. There have been many Diablos in the comic series, and they actually picked the most modern Diablo, which is weird because they could have literally picked any of them and made them modern like they did with the rest of the characters. I am kind of glad they did this Diablo because he's that street thug, crime lord-ish, and there's good character development with him. He's probably a good... if they had the little figure of him, I would get him because he's pretty cool. I like the actor. I can't tell you the name off the top of my head because he's not very well known. I've seen him in Hostel. I don't know. It's that one movie where they like you go into Europe and then you have fun and then you end up finding out you're gonna get killed or whatever. It's one of those kind of movies. But he's in there, and that's the only movie I know him from. But the character in this film is not really used quite well. I understand what they're trying to build up to, but that's always the problem when you have those big movies with so many like characters. It's even worse when they're like AAA actors. But it goes to show, like, even in a movie like this with some kind of B-lister actors, it's hard to give screen time to all of them, because you're going to see a lot of Deadshot, you're going to see a lot of Harley Quinn, and mediocre amounts of Boomerang because he's the comic relief, and then the rest of them are just kind of there in the back. Like Katana, I don't think that actress has actually been in any movies, if I remember correctly from the bonus features. They were talking about her. I don't know, but she's doing really well if she was able to wield the sword, because from what I considered from her, because she said she was afraid to hit people with her sword, so I think it's a real sword. So if she can do that, pretty sure she might have somewhat of a future doing movies. I don't know. We'll have to see where that goes. It's been a minute since this movie was released, so I have to check up on her in a bit. Killer Croc. it's funny because I have written here it says Killer Who because he's not really mentioned as much. You just see him as that big reptile guy in the back, which I like Casey. He's pretty cool, and he's got some good one-liners, which is exactly what they are. He has one-liners. Like every other part of his script is one line, and they should have done more with him because he's the muscle of the group. That's like what they did with Colossus in the X-Men, where he didn't get very many lines. It's just something that they need to work on, I think. You either got too many characters, or you have no motive to put them up there with everyone else. It's the Suicide Squad. If it was like Batman and the Justice League, and then you focus on Batman, it's because it's in the title, Batman and the Justice League, but it's Suicide Squad, so you got to use all of them. Now we get to talk about Enchantress, which is June Moon, and right now, in big letters, I have eyebrows written down. What the hell is up with her eyebrows? I was told that she's a model, and her eyebrows got her very famous, and I don't know fucking why. Those some bitches stand out. Like, holy shit. Like, first time I saw her, I was just like, what the fuck's wrong with her eyebrows? I don't know. They really pop. The only time I can kind of stand her is when she's in the Enchantress state, and like her face is all dirty, the hair is covering up everything, especially those eyebrows. So they needed a lot of hair to cover that up. Just saying. Rick Flag, he doesn't control shit. He's cocky though, so I like where he's going from. They kind of got this southern guy to be this leader of some sort, and it kind of helps, but then he turns into a little bitch towards the end of the movie because, oh, I love her, I don't know what love is. Yeah, this is kind of a hero drama love story, I guess. I don't know. This was bad. This part was bad. I don't know what to do with Flag. I mean, he's okay, he's there. He got the most screen time that did not need screen time. I think he's only important because one of the heroes is a bad guy, which is Enchantress, not hero, part of the squad. Bad guy, and she just happens to be sleeping with him, and then like the little minion guys are trying to take blah 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 blah. Moving on, we got the costume designs. Good. Now, I was watching the extended cut, and if you're gonna watch it, watch the extended cut. There's not much they added, but some of them are pretty subtle. I'm not gonna spoil some of those. I will tell you, I did not like one specific scene that they added, and that's where Harley is getting all psychiatrists, talking to each part of the squad and telling them their problems and shit. And it's just it's like a little kid on a tantrum, and I get that Quinn, does that, but that's why, like from the beginning of that scene before it, like the scene before and the scene after have nothing to do with what's in the middle, and I didn't get that. I see why it may have been cut. Everything else could have stayed in the movie. Like a lot of the scenes in there could have stayed and would have been perfectly fine. This scene was perfectly fine being cut, in my opinion. We talked about the Machine. Slipknot, you don't need to know him because you don't need to know him. Katana, like I said, I don't even think she's acted in any movies besides this one. I just know that they brought her because there wasn't many lines she needed to do, and she knew Japanese, which sounds bad, but I liked her in this one. They should have had more of her. Now that I think about it, maybe not, because Katana doesn't talk much. Loner with boner. The enemy designs, pretty okay. They're simple. They could have made them all unique in a different way, but that would have taken a little bit extra time, I think. But just the idea of them like designing something originally is good. It's good for me. Extended scene. Diablo. Uh, there's a scene in the bar where Diablo is just, I can't remember what they were doing. They were all pretty down. They were having a drink, and Diablo has this little outburst, and it's just, why? That's probably as confusing as Harley Quinn's cutscene, and it's just like, why? I feel like the director's just like, hey, in this, like, 3 seconds from now, get mad, and I don't understand. Maybe he has some sort of emotional disconnect from what they're talking about. He's reminiscing over what happened in the past, whatever. You'll find that out if you see the movie. It's kind of depressing, but I had some feels. I had me a bowl of honey nut Felios with Diablo, and the guy is pretty cool. Like I said, he's a good character, and I wish there was a little bit more of him so I could understand a bit more. Joker's lines don't make sense. Oh yeah, something about surrender is power, and maybe I'm missing that. Maybe it went over my head, but I didn't understand what some of the shit he was saying, and it may have not been Leto's fault. Like I said, there are screenwriters somewhere, and it's just frustrating. Because he was doing fine, and then somehow somebody put something in the script that doesn't make sense, and don't hate him, hate them. That's all I gotta say about that. The Joker and Harley relationship is, how do I say? It's complicated. I'm all for changing up storylines. I'm all for experimenting. It's just like, Batman, Gotham by Gaslight. It doesn't make sense, but you go with it because it's Batman. This whole Harley Quinn and Joker love story, I'm digging it, but that's not how the story goes. Joker has never really cared for Harley. She's just kind of a pawn on the chessboard. One of the pieces he utilizes when need be because she's a follower. But this kind of brings me a different approach. I like the bond they have. It's nice to see it for once. It's nice to know that Joker's not completely that bad. Because we have plenty of villains that were that bad. Like just down the hole of no return. And it's nice to see the in-between. I'm not saying all of them need to be Deadshot where they're anti-heroes. But I'm saying, just... if you're gonna let him hold on to something and it be Harley Quinn, I'm okay with that. They can blow up the world together, but I'm just saying it's a change that I don't mind. Because like I said, this is probably not canon. I mean, how many times have we seen a Batman movie or a Superman movie where shit's not canon? That's fine, it's okay. Don't bash on this movie for that particular reason. It's not like the comics. I can go down a list of movies where they're not like the comics. The closest thing I've seen that mirrors a comic would be the Netflix show for Daredevil. And that's as close as you're going to get. Everything else is just, they're making it up as they go. So don't expect to watch these things thinking they will be so identical to the comics, because they're going to have similarities, but they're going to be different. Deadshot is not black, but I'm okay with Will Smith playing him. Pick your poison. That's all I gotta say on him. Killer Croc did have some good... like I said, he didn't have many lines, but there were small character developments in there. Like when they're getting ready to go underground, the Navy SEALs got to go plant a bomb or whatever, and KC's walking up like, I'm going with you guys, and they're like, bro, we got this, and he's like, I ain't asking. And it's pretty much because it's underwater. Killer Croc lives in the sewers, and the rest of these guys are just passing through. It's easier to bring somebody that's in that atmosphere, that knows their way around on what to do. So it's nice that they give Croc a key point here to where he is a valuable asset as the rest of the team are. Because they've already kicked off most of his lines, it's good to have this part. The final battle scene, they're walking in there, and I'm just gonna list all the shit that I didn't like. They're walking in there, there's no guards, so they easily get in there. Enchantress does find out later, like, oh, I've been waiting for you guys all night, so why didn't you set up guards? You know, they finish them early, or they would make some ruckus outside. That'll give you time, like a little green light, like, oh, I need to speed this process up a little bit. And yeah, you're bad at this. You're bad. I like Enchantress. Like I said, I don't like June Moon, or whatever that actress's name. Eyebrows. I don't like eyebrows. And Enchantress is also doing this stupid little dance. I don't know what this is. What? We just making a machine? What are we doing? I don't get it. It's they could have done something better with this. I feel like they spent more time on Deadshot, Harley Quinn, than they halved the focus and put it on the rest of the squad. And then June Moon is right there at the end, and it's like, do whatever. Like, she barely has any clothes on, so that's how great of a design they went with her. The brother, I'm like, okay, first I was unaware of the brother. I've never heard about it. Whatever actor they got playing him, that's not even a B-lister. That's just, I don't know who the fuck that is. When the squad shows up, Enchantress is like, yo, you're fucking up my shit, brother, come beat their ass. And then he's like coming around the corner. I'm like, where the fuck was this guy? Bathroom break? What? Smoke break? Like, what the hell? Where the fuck were you? You're supposed to be here on guard. At the soda machine, probably. This is where Diablo gets to shine, because this is all what we've been waiting for, is for Diablo to whoop some ass, and he turns into this really awesome, demonic thing. And this is probably where the Diablo part comes in. I like that they didn't go for a, more cliche demon fire thing, or, because I understand that he's Hispanic, Latino, whatever. But they didn't just stop there. When he transforms, he goes into a full Mayan skeleton, and it's really cool. And I like the culture. I like the culture aspect of it, and it's really nice. I do like that about Diablo. I wish I could have seen more than that, because you had me dragging ass in the mud for this fight, and that's just it. That's all I got. It was just maybe a couple minutes of him duking it out. But that's all you get. And that's kind of frustrating. And then the Harley. Most of my problems are with Harley. How are my problems with Harley and not the Joker? You want to know why? Because they don't show as much of the Joker. I'm sure I would find more problems there. The problem is they focus a lot on Harley, and she's got these stupid one-liners. And Harley's, okay, I'm gonna go with her. I'm gonna be a bad guy. And it's just like, there's one problem with the lady. You mess with my friends. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. That was the stupidest fucking thing I've heard. Mess with my friends. If you guys were heroes, this would be different. It would be a little less lame. Still lame, a little less lame. But you're one of the baddest mofos. Harley Quinn is one of the only people that have come very close to killing Batman. Granted, Bane, quote unquote, killed Batman, but Harley Quinn was one of the first to come very close to it, even closer than the Joker has. And now we're playing buddies. We're friends now. What is this? I don't know. Maybe I just don't like Robin. I love Robin. Margot Robbie. I just don't like her. I can't stand her. She's not fit for this. I'll probably cut this out of this video. Maybe. I'll think about it. The ending is where it kind of gets me, because I know they're going to make a Suicide Squad 2. And I'm very disappointed that Mel Gibson actually turned it down for directing. I wish he would have at least saw a script or something first. But I am kind of interested to see where this goes. I hope they implement the Deadshot Harley love triangle with Joker at some point. Like I said, each squad, they always get a new squad. They always kill off some members and they get more. So we'll see who ends up coming in at that. So my final thoughts on this. I would recommend the movie if you like comic movies. These are mainly focused on villains. You see Batman once or twice. No Superman. I recommend you watch it if you like comic movies. And I would definitely have you watch it if you did not like Batman v Superman or Justice League. Because I believe both of those were worse than this. Because in the end, it's no matter what notes I write, the good or the bad, if there's so many bad and not enough good, in the end, it's just a matter of, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy watching it? You'll know when I don't like a movie when after it's over, I said, I wasted my time. I wasted my damn time. And that happens a lot. I'll watch a couple movies and it's just, well, that's 2 hours I'm not getting back. That's how you know it's a bad movie. But I find myself watching this movie from time to time again. And I actually watched it with a coworker once, and he actually sat and watched it the entire time. There was no conversations happening because I'm a terrible person to watch movies with. I like to talk about everything during a movie, which is bad. Even at the movie theater, I get yelled at a lot. But anyways, there was no conversations going on between us about the film, so I know he was engulfed in it. He liked it. He had some bads about it, which were the same ones I had. And he enjoyed it. So it's a matter of, if you enjoyed it, it's an okay movie. If you loved it, that's different. If you just flat out think, man, I wasted my time watching this movie, then there you go. You don't like it. But in my opinion, I enjoyed the movie. So you could get it on Blu-ray. I recommend Blu-ray on everything. I would suggest, if you have HBO, you can watch it there. If you do not, it's really hard for me to talk about this right now because I don't want to say go out and buy it on Blu-ray, because if it turns out you do love it, then you might want to devote your time to get yourself the collector's edition. I always have trouble with this camera. The collector's edition is pretty cool. You can already guess on what you get inside. The figures are pretty awesome. So it's one of those things where you need to decide if you like the movie or not, because these are sculpted based off the characters in the movie. So if you don't like the movie, there's no point in getting a statue that reminds you saw the movie. But they're pretty nice though. If I can bring my Deadshot over here. This sumbitch got a lot of weight to it. And everything's well sculpted. You can see a little bit of Will Smith in the mask. Everything's painted really well too. He's got all different guns, mags on him. And the part I did not notice, because usually, I don't know how they do it in different regions, but there is a version where the plate they stand on says Suicide Squad. But apparently if you get them with the movie, because you can buy them separate, but I recommend getting them with the movie so that way you kill two birds with one stone. But apparently the ones you get with the movie have the actual logo on the plates, and that's kind of cool. I wish I could show you a little bit more, but this isn't a statue review. This is a movie review. I just wanted to show you guys that if you loved it, there are some out there. I got mine on eBay for like $135. I'm kidding. It was 135 Australian dollars. So I ended up paying like 60 or 80. But that was in December. I just got it recently. So it takes some time, but you're getting it cheap. Think of it that way. Now, that's the end of this video. I want to pretty much ask you guys, what more do you want? Do you want another movie review? Do you want me to review a game that you're not sure of buying? Do you want me to talk about the statue? Or hell, do you want me to give you some insight on some of these characters? Like I said, I have a lot of books on Deadshot. Captain Boomerang has been around for a minute. I know a lot of shit about Harley Quinn, so it's just like, hey, I want to know more about a specific character. I can do that for you. I can just go down a whole list of things that you may not know. And it's kind of cool to know that stuff if you're a comic book geek, or in this case, if you're a comic book rookie. So just let me know on that, or if you want to see me do more Let's Plays. I stop each individual Let's Play. I stop my Let's Plays after one episode because I never know what people want, and I don't know what they want to watch. I don't get feedback. I go based on my views. So it's just like, okay, well, I don't know if people liked it or not. Let me try this game. Let me try this one. And I have some new ones that, I just got from the summer sale. And I'll go ahead and do a Let's Play on those to see what people are wanting. But until then, guys, I'll go ahead and see you on the other side.